Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we read letters from the voyages of St. Frances Cabrini as she traveled around the Western Hemisphere sharing the good news of Christ. The kingdom of God has no limits. Its limits are those of the globe itself. Come and let your glory be the glory of your celestial spouse, the working out of that celestial talent, the sublime vocation of cooperating with Christ for the salvation of souls. St. Frances Cabrini. Welcome, Catholic pilgrims. Today we will read the Epilogue, which happens to be the Catholic news report on Mother Cabrini's death, life, and funeral. Reading online from the St. Frances Cabrini Shrine in New York, quote, late in 1917, Mother Cabrini arrived in Chicago, thin, weak, and exhausted. Part of the problem the doctors at Columbus Hospital told her was that she was suffering a relapse of the malaria she had acquired in Brazil years before. But at 67, after decades of relentless work and ill health, her body was clearly wearing down. Still, she pushed on. Concerned about the World War and the possibility of food shortages for her hospitals in Chicago, Mother Cabrini purchased a farm in Des Plaines, Illinois. Then, true to her roots as a farmer's daughter, she set about personally selecting the livestock. As Christmas approached, Mother Cabrini learned that because of the war, the pastor at Assumption Church, where the missionary sisters ran a school, could not afford candy for the Italian children. That would never do. She immediately ordered sweets. It turned out to be her last act of charity. On December 22nd, 1917, around midday, Mother Cabrini was alone in her room when she died peacefully. The doctor attributed her death to chronic endocarditis, unquote. We will simply read this news article about her today and then just sit with the words and all that we have read for this season. I won't offer any reflection now, but will do so in our final episode. So please grab your books and open to page 347. Epilogue. Mother Cabrini and her work. Catholic News, New York, January 5th, 1918. When, on December 22nd, Mother Cabrini, the founder of the Missionary Sisters of the Sacred Heart, died at Columbus Hospital, one of her foundations in Chicago, a really great woman departed out of a world that needs her and her kind very much. She was one of those great women organizers who accomplish so much and yet do it so quietly that only those who are intimately acquainted with her work know of it. There are a great many people who seem to think that the days of the saints of old, who accomplished so much in great social work for mankind, are gone never to return. Some of them even hint that the Church has lost its power to produce such wonderful workers, but a little knowledge of the lives of such wonderful women as Mother Frances Xavier Cabrini would disillusion them. There is almost no woman of our time, and this is said very deliberately, who has accomplished so much for charity and social service in the higher sense of that term as Mother Cabrini. The immigration of the Italians from their home country to this country brought together a great many of them in various American cities under circumstances where they needed care, and where, in case of accident or sickness, they could not be cared for in their poor homes. All of us have had the experience of how pitiable it was to have to deal with ailing or injured Italians, whose language no one could speak, and of whom only a few fragmentary words could be understood. The loneliness of it all was grief-compelling. Mother Cabrini came to this country about 25 years ago and proceeded to found a series of hospitals, schools, and academies for the Italians, and in spite of discouraging conditions of all kinds, succeeded in making a wonderful success of her work. As a result of this great good woman's initiative, there are now hospitals for the Italians in New York, Chicago, Denver, and Seattle. Her work is extended clear across the continent, and she gathered around her a group of the most zealous women intent only on their task in the care of others to accomplish what was needed. There are schools for the Italians in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, California, Louisiana, Colorado, and Washington, so that north and south, east and west, everywhere the fruit of her efforts is to be seen. She was only a little past 30 when she came to this country, and she has spent 3 decades laboring for us, though not all of that time was spent here, and we see the results. Must it not be confessed that the church is still capable of producing wonderful, saintly persons to accomplish the seemingly impossible? But what has been done here is not all. The order founded by her in 1880, 37 years ago, and approved by the Holy See less than 30 years ago, has some scores of centers of activity in Italy, nearly a dozen in South America, 2 in Spain, 1 in England, and 1 in France. Pope Leo XIII suggested to Mother Cabrini in 1889 the extension of her work to America, north and south, in order to bring aid and cheer and the consolations of religion to the Italian immigrants who had come to North and South America. His Holiness knew her well, for she had been called to Rome to take charge of the pontifical school there in 1887, and 2 years was quite enough to show her wonderful spirit of broad Catholicity and wide-open charity. Mother Cabrini was born in Lodi, Italy, July 15, 1850. She was, therefore, when she died, only 67, not full of years as so many of the founders of religious orders are, but undoubtedly she covered a long space in a short time. The order was founded in Codogno, Italy, and originally was to have been a teaching order. But she very soon recognized the need, however, of social service in orphan asylums and hospitals, especially after coming to America, so these were founded. The hospital system established by her proved to have a great field for usefulness, and so was rapidly extended. Columbus Hospital, New York, was founded in 1892. Columbus Hospital, Chicago, in 1905. Columbus Sanitarium, Seattle, only a few years ago. In Chicago, besides Columbus Hospital Extension at Lytle and Polk Streets was founded for the poor. It is marvelous to think that one woman can accomplish so much and assume so much responsibility, but of course the reason why it could be accomplished was because Mother Cabrini won all hearts to herself and made them share something of her own enthusiasm in working for others. The public is likely to hear little of her. Many a woman of wealth who has done not a tenth of what Mother Cabrini has done gets an immense amount of publicity. She avoided publicity, and even now, after her death, her friends would respect her attitude in the matter, but for the fact that the story of it will itself do so much good for her work now that she is gone. Not only will her daughters in religion mourn her, but there are countless little children under her care who will miss her visits. She has left behind her a wonderful monument in her work, which will live for future generations. The Requiem Mass was held in the chapel of Columbus Hospital, New York City, on Monday, December 31st at 9:30. His Excellency, the Most Reverend John Bonzano, D.D., Apostolic Delegate, presided. The celebrant of the Mass was the Right Reverend Bishop Hayes, assisted by the Right Reverend Monsignor Mooney, the Right Reverend Monsignor Lavelle, the Right Reverend Monsignor Edwards, the Reverend V. Yanuzzi, the Reverend E. Copo, and Father Deneen, the Bishop's secretary. You lost your cross? Then you are the most unhappy person in the world, because the one who has no cross is not a follower of Jesus Christ. So I wish you a very long and very large cross, full of thorns, which you will carry as a precious jewel with a smile on your lips. St. Francis Cabrini. Thank you for listening today, Catholic Pilgrims. In the final episode, I will offer my final thoughts on this season. I hope to have you join me, but until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.